Baby Folktales TV, a story of experience. Note: this is not based on true life event. It is a fiction story. Thank you as you enjoy watching. Please subscribe, like, comment, and share.
Listen well. Because this is not only a story, this is a warning wearing the clothes of entertainment. This is not just about a country, it is about the human heart. And when the human heart touches power, even the ancestors lean forward to watch. Kindly indicate where you're watching this content from, and also subscribe, like, comment, and share to support the channel. Tales of Forgotten Gods, Episode 2. The Boy Who Lost His Integrity. Hold your popcorns, cause this one's crazy. In the country of Ginger, hunger was not only found in empty stomachs, it lived in broken laws. It slept inside courts that favored the rich. It smiled from the faces of leaders who ate well while the poor learned how to survive on hope. Oppression had become normal, and when oppression becomes normal, anyone who speaks against it becomes dangerous. That was when Darkboy appeared. He had no money, no political backing, no powerful friends, only integrity. And in a land where integrity was rare, it made him louder than any weapon. Darkboy hated injustice with a passion that burned his chest. He walked the streets of Ginger and saw pain everywhere. Mothers crying quietly, men humiliated by poverty, children learning hunger before they learned their own names. When he spoke for them. He exposed public figures who sold fake medicine to the poor, fake charity, fake hope. And when they asked him why he did it, he answered, "I fight for the weak because nobody else will." The internet found him before the government did. Videos of Darkboy spread like wildfire. A poor man shaming powerful men. A nobody embarrassing somebodies. Soon, the name Darkboy became impossible to ignore. But fame is a blade with two edges. It cuts paths, and it cuts people. Darkboy had two friends. One was called Pico. Pico had walked with him from the beginning. Before the noise, before the fame, Pico believed in righteousness, but feared pride. He warned Darkboy gently, "Do what is right, but be careful. Power attracts enemies you cannot see." The other friend was Shady. Shady praised Darkboy loudly and publicly, but his advice was always dangerous. "Go harder," Shady said. "Insult them. Expose them mercilessly. Let them fear you." Pico warned Darkboy about Shady, but Darkboy was young, and attention is intoxicating. Two people took Darkboy's rise personally: Bobby Lord, Yobbo J. Men who made money from the suffering of the poor. Men who smiled for cameras and cursed in private. They lost respect. And there is nothing more dangerous than a powerful man who feels embarrassed. Darkboy boasted publicly, "I don't need anybody's money. I don't want anybody's friendship. Integrity dies when you depend on people." Yet he still begged the public to support NGOs for the weak. He meant well, but contradictions always grow teeth later. Darkboy spoke against the government. They arrested him, released him, arrested him again. Every time he returned, he spoke louder. Prison did not scare him. You cannot threaten a man who already has nothing to lose. The people watched, and slowly they stopped being afraid. One day, the country snapped. Protests erupted everywhere. Men who had been silent for decades found their voices. Women marched with children on their backs. Students sang songs that frightened soldiers. The people begged Darkboy to lead. He hesitated, then accepted, not because he wanted power, but because he believed history had chosen him. What began as protest became revolution. What became revolution turned into war. Ginger burned. But the people did not retreat. They were almost victorious. Almost. On the most important day of the revolution, Darkboy marched at the front. He raised his fist. The crowd roared. Then the sound of betrayal cracked the air. A gunshot. Then another. Darkboy fell. The crowd screamed. Chaos swallowed the streets. And while the people panicked, Shady stepped back calmly. Comma, money changed hands. The betrayal was complete. As Darkboy's vision faded, he saw an old man standing close, calm, unmoved, ancient. The old man lifted him and vanished. Darkboy slept for a month. When he woke, he was not in a hospital. He was in a strange village, a place where people lived quietly, sadly, as though time had abandoned them. They looked like souls the world had forgotten. Fear took Darkboy. Then the old man appeared and asked Darkboy, "What is your deepest desire?" Darkboy spoke his deepest desire, a world without oppression, a world without hate, a world with love and balance. The villagers began to cry. The old man smiled with sorrow and pride. "Your prayers are answered." The air changed. The old man revealed his true form. The villagers transformed. The village became a shining kingdom. And the old man spoke his name. "I am Aruba the Great." Aruba explained his story. He was once a god who ruled with love, but generations came and forgot him. They stopped serving, they stopped believing, so he turned his back on the world, and the void he left filled with corruption. He had been watching Darkboy, watching his integrity, watching his courage. So Aruba made him an offer. Power, divine power. Darkboy would become a god. But Aruba warned him, never lose your integrity. Never become intoxicated with power. If you do, the punishment will be severe. Darkboy agreed, proudly to proudly. Aruba gave him a jar of sacred water. Each year, when you wake, the water will appear. Drink it before speaking. Let your mouth stay righteous. Darkboy took the jar, and reality snapped. Darkboy woke in a hospital. The jar was in his hand. He drank immediately. Power surged through him. His body changed. His presence became overwhelming. Pico woke and wept in shock. Darkboy told him everything. With his new power, Darkboy returned to Ginger. He removed evil leaders. Justice came swiftly. The people crowned him leader. They called him a god. Shady returned, smiling, pretending loyalty. Pico warned him. Again, Darkboy ignored him. Again. Shady could not steal the power, so he corrupted the mind. He framed Pico. Darkboy blinded by pride, punished Pico severely. He locked away the one man who truly loved him. That was the moment Darkboy fell. Years passed. Darkboy became cruel. He punished innocents, took people's wives, sold prayers for money, became friends with the same evil men he once hated. He accepted bribes to do all sort of evil, and decreed that all must worship him. Those who spoke against him vanished. The people began to fear him, and the world turned upside down. Bobby Lord and Yobo J became voices of justice. Darkboy became the villain. One morning, Darkboy woke. The jar was gone, no power came, fear returned. Shady betrayed him openly after he learned that his powers were gone. The people rose again, this time against him. Shady died during the chaos. Pico was freed. Pico became the new leader. Darkboy smiled through regret. Darkboy slept and returned to Aruba's kingdom. This time, the villagers despised him. Aruba was furious. Darkboy begged for forgiveness, but it was too late. Aruba sentenced him. Eternal labor, eternal burden, every evil carried on his back forever. Darkboy accepted his punishment. Darkboy never woke again. In Ginger, people searched. No body was found. Some said he died, but the truth was heavier. He lived, punished forever. And Ginger learned its greatest lesson. Power does not destroy integrity. It reveals whether it ever existed. Power does not destroy a man. It reveals him. Darkboy was not defeated by his enemies. He was not broken by soldiers, protests, or betrayal. He fell the moment he chose pride over purpose, power over people, and ego over integrity. The same hands that once lifted the oppressed became the hands that crushed them, and the same voice that spoke truth slowly learned to justify evil. This is the tragedy of Darkboy, a reminder that strength without humility becomes tyranny, and purpose without conscience leads only to ruin. Let this story remind us all, you don't lose your destiny in one mistake. You lose it when you stop listening to your conscience. Power is not the problem, character is. Thank you for watching episode 2 of Tales of Forgotten Gods. If this story moved you, challenged you, or made you reflect on power, leadership, and integrity, please like, subscribe, comment, and share this story. Your support means everything to us and helps us bring you more powerful, meaningful stories like this. Stay with us. Because the gods are not done watching yet.